What if I told you that your years of sales experience might be the very thing holding you back? Think about it. You've been in sales for years, maybe even decades, and you know the scripts, you've closed deals, and you've handled objections 1,000 times. But then something changes. Buyers stop responding the way they used to, your go-to strategies don't work anymore, the same pitch that closed deals 5 years ago does not work. Now it's met with silence. And here's a harsh truth. It's not the market, it's not the competition, it's you. Today I'm going to share with you why experience can be a silent deal killer and how it makes even the top sales pros unknowingly sabotage their success. And more importantly, what actually matters in today's world of selling. First, my own experience, a story of a veteran salesperson who stopped winning. And I once coached a sales veteran, 25 years in the industry, top performer, a multiple President's Club winner, but something was off. His numbers were slipping, buyers weren't really engaging like before. What I did was I shadowed one of his calls. He was polished, he had the perfect pitch, but the problem, he was selling like it was still 2015. He assumed the buyer had zero knowledge of the product. He dominated the conversation, and instead of listening, he followed a very rigid sales process. Instead of adapting, he kept talking to the client, and the buyer, he just checked out within 5 minutes and the call was over. This is exactly why experience can be dangerous. So why does this really happen? And how do we really fix it? Let's look at some of them. One is experience leads to overconfidence. Seasoned reps assume that they already know what the buyer needs. Instead of really discovering, they default to prepackaged solutions. Buyers today are more informed, let me tell you that, than ever before. They don't want a one-size-fits-all approach. Now, how do we fix this? Is treat every buyer as a unique scenario. Before jumping into a solution mode, ask at least 5 questions to uncover new insights. Instead of really assuming, verify, repeat back when the buyer says and confirm if you truly understand the pain points. Second is experience creates fixed patterns of thinking. The longer you've been in sales, the harder it is to unlearn outdated habits. Sales rep really rely on historical success rather than adapting to real-time buyer behaviors. Markets evolve, industries shift. What worked 5 years ago might be useless today. So how do we fix this part of it? A pattern to break? Every quarter, audit your sales approach. What has changed in your industry? Figure that out. Learn from those newer to sales. How are they engaging buyers differently? Follow your buyers' industry trends, not just your own product updates. Third is experience makes you resistant to feedback. This is another challenge. New reps actively seek feedback, while veterans believe they already know what works. The most dangerous mindset in sales is, I've always done it this way. The best salespeople are learners first, sellers second. So how do we fix this mindset? Record and review your sales calls or meetings. What are you saying that might be outdated? Check that out. Seek feedback from non-sales people. Could be marketing, your customer success, even clients for that matter. Regularly test new sales techniques and compare conversion rates. So if experience alone isn't the answer, what actually matters? Let's figure that out. Let's look at few of what actually drives sales success today. First is having a beginner's mindset. There are sales pros who learn like a rookie. The best salespeople think like a new rep, always curious, always learning. They ask more questions than they have answers for. They treat every deal like a new challenge, not a repeat of the last one. Use this practical tip. Every time you prepare for a meeting, assume you know nothing. Ask yourself, what has changed since the last time I sold to this industry? What's really changing there? What new challenges might the buyer be really facing that weren't there a few years ago? This is very critical to understand. Think of adaptability over experience. The sales pro who win today aren't the ones with the most experience. They are the ones who adapt with the fastest and the changing environment. Buyers change, industries shift, and sales strategies must evolve. Sales success today is about real-time adjustments, not historical wins. Let me give you an example. The rise of AI tools or AI-driven sales tools means data is now a bigger advantage than the gut instinct. The reps who leverage AI insights outperforms those really relying purely on past experience. The third very critical aspect is emotional intelligence. This is the most underrated skill that beats experience. Buyers just don't buy based on logic. They buy based on how they really feel about you. Experience can make reps sound robotic, rehearsed, and transactional. So the best sales pros are deeply aligned to buyers' emotions, concerns, and really those unspoken signals. Let me give you a practical tip. Instead of rushing to a pitch, slow down. Read the buyer's tone. Notice micro expressions. Ask questions that can uncover emotional side of the decision. Now let's make this a bit real. How do you actually implement this in your sales process? We need to understand that. So this is by shifting from experience-driven selling to adaptive selling. The number one thing to remember is question everything you know about sales. Before every call, challenge one of your existing assumptions about how you've been selling. If you've always done something a certain way, ask yourself, is this still the best way to do it? For example, if you've always started sales calls with a product pitch, flip the script. Start with a question about their business, their priorities, instead of just going with a product pitch. Second is learn from outside of your industry. Many experienced sales reps become too specialized, and that limits their growth. So the best ideas often come from outside of your industry. For example, a real estate sales pro studies how tech companies use behavioral analytics in their sales process and apply those insights into selling properties. Isn't that amazing? The third part is test, measure, and adapt. Instead of really relying on past success experiences and experiments with new approaches and track what works, data beats assumption. For example, split test your outreach. Try a traditional cold email versus a short personalized video message. See which gets better engagement. Now here's my challenge to all of you, because experience alone won't keep you winning. This is very clear, right? So now go into every sales conversation with absolutely prepared and go in with assumption that you know nothing, so that you can listen as if you have never sold before. This is very, very critical. If all that I've shared resonates, then here is what I would suggest. Challenge one sales habit you've really relied on for years. Try one new approach you have never considered before. And come back and share what really changed for you. Drop in the comments below, and did you notice buyers responding differently? Did a conversation go in a direction you didn't expect? And let's discuss about it. It's really time to rethink the way we approach sales. Sales is no longer about how many years you've been in the game. It's about how quickly you can adapt to the game as it changes. So if you're ready to stay ahead, hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing unconventional sales strategies that cut through the noise and actually works in today's world. And if you want to dive deeper into the modern sales techniques, follow me on LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube Shorts for really extremely insightful tips. The best salespeople aren't the ones with the most experience. They are the ones who never stop learning.